Hi people, I just wanted to show you my progress on this painting that I'm finishing up for my show next month called Mythical Creatures. This one is a werewolf woman and I guess her wolf. I don't have a name for it yet, but I just wanted to talk to you about painting fur, which is pretty difficult for me anyway, but I'll show you the way that I make it look easy. First of all, you have to decide what color your animal is going to be, and I went and decided to go with a white wolf for this. I wanted to have a great contrast between the wolf and the woman, who is this beautiful chocolate color. But anyway, as you can see, you see all these weird goofy brush lines because it's just the undercoat, kind of like how real animals are built anyway. They have a top layer of fur, they have an under layer of fur. So I kind of work in that way as far as painting fur. It's a lot of layering. So you start with your darkest color, which for me in this case is black. It looks gray, but it's very watered down paint. And I use a brush to just go in and basically build these chunky stripes, because that's what they are. They're big stripes, as you can see. They're just, some of them are smaller, but it's stripy. So you pick your brush that suits this the best, and you'll go in and you start with your black or whatever darkest color that you're going to use. You have to account for shadow, and where your light is coming from is very important. My painting this here has a darker, the sense of the light is coming from the top. So he's going to be lighter up top and darker at the bottom. So it'll be less light at the bottom. So you're going to have more black or more of your darkest color at the bottom. You want to make sure you do that. Now, as far as getting your fur texture layered properly, I used 3 colors in this. Is black, this nice brown, it's pretty brown here, which I also used for the color of the woman. It's a really pretty brown, cinnamon brown. And remember, it also does dry a little bit darker. But in this case, where you see it's not as dark as it is in the bottle because it's a watered down. Anyway, so I used the 3 colors, and as you layer, when you're getting to your lightest color, that's where your finest detail is going to come in. So if you can see, like in this area here, see all those little tiny white hairs. That's where you want to add your detail. You don't want tiny, fine black hairs, because when you look at an object in real life, you don't see every single strand of fur. You just don't. It looks like a mass of color in some portions. Even when you look at a photograph, unless you get super, super close. But when you look, it's like, okay, well, that's a shadow, so it looks just like a blob of black. Like this area right here, that's gonna look, you don't need to put tiny, tiny bits of fur. You'll be here all day, and we don't want that. So you start with the bold chunks of black, then you can go in with your second color, which here for me is the cinnamon brown, watered down. And then on top, I add these tiny white strips of fur. And also too, I blend a lot of the colors. I'll take a little bit of white and a little bit of the cinnamon brown and mix it together to add these different layers and textures and to make it look more like fur. And that's just my little advice on this. Now, I'm not an art teacher. I'm not like your pro artist. This is just, you know, my suggestion in making this process a little bit easier. So I can also show you the brushes that I like to use for these types of painting. For the fine, fine, fine details. Let's see if I can get this in. Whoa. That is a tiny little brush head. But that's what I use for these little itty bitty lines. That's a small brush. And that will be your last thing. And with these big, chunky, like areas where you see these big lines that it's supposed to represent fur, it's the undercoat really. I use a squared off brush like this. It's a little spiky. Yes, it came like that. I didn't cut it. It's just a little spiky on the end, which helps with the texture also, which you know, you can use. These are cheap. You get them on Amazon. I got like a package for like $15, $20. Came in this cool little thing. So yeah, and there's all types of brushes. That actually helps with you know, with your painting. So yeah, if you have any questions for me, just comment or whatever, and you know, I can answer. But this painting is coming along, and I'll show you more progress as I get done. You can follow me on my Instagram, and I'll post some more things about I guess how I do some of the things. Somebody said that I do great expression, and this woman looks kind of upset. Well, mean maybe, but even with the animals, you have to work with there's other things that you have to work with in order to capture, you know, the whole thing. Expression is very important, even in an animal like this wolf here. I mean, it's obvious, and you can tell that there's something, you know, this is not a happy wolf. So you do want to capture that depending on what it is that you're trying to convey in your painting. But thanks for watching, and paint some fur. All right, guys. Peace.